Hello, how are you? This is Resilient Lives, checking in with you to see how you're doing. We've been into so many days of protest, just wanting to see how it's going with you. That's what we've been doing all these months, is just to continue to thrive. And for some, it's been a bit difficult with protests and helicopters, but it's good to know that we have each other. And even though we're waking up feeling some kind of way, we are hanging in there, and that's the good news. So today I just want to touch base with you so that you know you're still loved and you're still thought of as we deal with these two global crises. We got the COVID-19 and the racism issue that has been with us a long time and has unearthed a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. But today, we're just wanting to check what I would say the pulse of America, the pulse of the country, the world, and of course the pulse of ourselves. Every day, I take my vitals. That's just a little something that my doctor suggested, and the whole purpose of taking the vitals is to kind of see where I stand, what's stable, what signs of things that are going on. And so when I hear and think about the world, I mean, I was really pleased. It made my heart smile when I saw that people in Amsterdam were protesting because of the racism. I went to Amsterdam a while ago, and just to think that the world is supporting the stance of being humane to each other just made me feel a little smile, made me feel someone cares. And so as I was thinking about this pulse, being on the pulse of America, I remembered years ago, Maya Angelou. She gave a poem, a beautiful poem. If you have a chance to read it, it is wonderful. She gave it at President Clinton's inauguration. And basically, she was talking about one of the stances in the poem had to do with peace and unity. Peace and unity. And that's when we're thinking of the pulse of all these marches and all that's happening. This is what is going on. People, we want peace and we want to be united. And so to look back on that poem is really interesting. So I'm not going to take the time to go into the whole poem, but I also was thinking about, when we're talking about the diversity and all of these nationalities and ethnicities and everything, I remember there was a TED Talk that I used in a presentation a while ago, and the TED Talk was by a rabbi. I think his last name was Sachs, and he was talking about we the people. How about that? Now that's something that we remember, we the people. And that is a common stance of what is going on today, because what he's saying in his TED Talk is there can be no other without us, that we've got to be united. And so he's saying that if you go into into all of these various words that has self in them, like self-confidence, self this, self that, and you replace it with other, that is the way we're going to deal with this world, because I think he was dealing with how can we live in this world without fear? How can we live in this world without fear? And Rabbi is saying it has to be we, the people. So here you have Maya Angelou and her poem talking about the pulse of the morning. And you have the rabbi, and he's talking about we, the people. If we want to live and not be in fear, we've got to come together in unity. So these two different people are basically saying the same thing. So I just want you to know that there is hope. Don't want you to be discouraged. Want you to take the time to see how you're feeling. Take your pulse. Determine how are you feeling. What kind of, someone said, I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that means for them that maybe something's out of whack. Do I have to walk more, or am I stressed, or is my heart broken, or am I sad? But we need to take the pulse, our pulse. We need to listen to our hearts. And in addition to that, since this happens, body, mind, and soul, we have all of these things happening, but we have two crises. So we don't want to give all of our attention to one and let the other one overtake us. So while we're saddened and marching and all these things, we also have to remember to be safe, to wash our hands, to do our physical distancing, and to do all these things. So it's going to take multiple efforts to keep us from letting our emotions bring us down by making us sad and lowering our immune system. I'm hoping that with all of the protests that the second wave of coronavirus doesn't happen, because this was an emotional thing that had people jumping out, and we want to make sure that we're safe. So as I close, I just want you to know that we belong together, and this too is another crisis, another crisis that we're fighting, but we must be together. That's what this thriving and flourishing is all about, is making sure that we stand together and take care of each other. We are virtually standing together in spite of the fact that people are going out into the world. We are standing together. I know some cities, a lot of cities have curfews, so there's a lot of restrictions, but we really want to look at and take account of how am I feeling, what's the pulse of this whole situation. So know that you're loved. Know that we are still on this mission to defy all odds and come out flourishing. We will flourish. We will stand together. We will continue to be supportive, and we will stay peacefully united because that's what we've been doing. And so hopefully you have had a chance to pause and take time to see how this all is impacting you and yours. But we will continue to reach out to those who are our vital friends and make sure that they're all right. And you really want to check, because sometimes the asker is broken, so they might not be voicing what they're feeling, but we are going to survive this. So remember, take your pulse, and remember also that we the people will survive this. Bye-bye.